What's going on, everybody? This is me, Dan, and well, oh my god, honestly, I can't wait, to start vacations and stuff because this is kind of like super hype. I'm still super hype, and I think that I will stay like that for a good while. I can't wait, honestly, to be uploading like daily with all this Smash Bros. Thing and Pokemon thing. I mean, I honestly want so freaking bad to upload Pokemon Online Battle. I've been playing those two lately a lot. Well, not a lot, but all the free time that I got. Basically, it goes for both games, and I don't know. In Smash Bros, I start to slowly feel progress. I mean, I think that I just passed to be rank peasant to someone who's decent. Like someone who can put at least a couple of cool moves and a couple of good battles and stuff. I'm not really too good at the moment. I'm still have a lot to learn regarding this game. I mean, it's the first game that it's the first Smash Bros. That I try, to play kind of competitive because the other one, Smash Bros. Melee, the one that I played like long time ago, I remember that I was like, I don't know, 13, 12, something like that, and I didn't play really like competitive. I was just playing with my friends, friends from my school and my cousins and stuff like that. We weren't really, like pulling any of the promos like wave dashing or uh, like C cancel, anything like that. We were just like playing the game, having fun, and I know like used to give you an idea back in those days. I used to like I like to use Link, so yeah, like Link was apparently like super terrible in melee. No wonder why I never seen videos of competitive Link regarding in the melee game. But well, in this game actually Link got like pretty buff. This is like a pretty solid character, a lot of projectiles and stuff. But slowly I start to feel identified with the game. I slowly start to like getting used to it, to predict my opponents, actually like start to adapt. Because before, I remember that I had a battle versus a fox, a dude who like used word was something like just like sending lasers and stuff. And I remember that I was like chasing him all around without having any clue of what to do. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Naruto, like the typical shuriken spammer or something like that. And then those who have no experience, like the first thing they do is like recklessly chase them. That's what they want actually. And in this case, it's the same. Like that's what they want. They want you to go like start to go more reckless at the point that you lower your guard, you put your guard down, and then they will just take the chance to like send you flying out of nowhere. But yeah, I mean, I've been really enjoying this game. Now, something that I want to talk that probably might be of your interest, since I was remembering all this stuff that happening in Naruto. I mean, I never hated the game. It's just the community wasn't as fun as it used to be, and I think that for many people who like join Storm 3 or join Storm Revolution or even Generations, this could be interesting because um, I mean, I saw how the community was built. Actually, I was one of the first. I mean, I was like, yeah, I was one of the first known players out there, and I know. I think that it was with me alongside with other people, the ones who built this community. And it's actually kind of interesting. So I'll start to tell you. Actually, I might make like a more proper video regarding this topic because it's something that I would like to treasure. Like I have as a treasure in my channel. I would really appreciate it, guys, to tell me what do you think. Well, I'll start. The Naruto community actually started. The game came out in the year 2010, but the community actually started to have some sense or to go somewhere at the year 2011. It was in a small page website called Arashi Words. I remember that. I remember that the first friend that I made was Kenneth, which was like my very first online friend. I remember that I also used to argue with her a lot, like a lot. She didn't like my stuff. Apparently, she was like complaining hardcore about it. Back in those days, it was kind of like the typical Lidera spammer or something. Like That's how most of the random people just play, you know. And actually, Deidara was one of like my favorite characters. And when I saw that you could just like press square and earn some wins, I was like, you know, that this is pretty sweet. Um, but then lately, of course, the game it has nothing to do with the anime regarding on who's better or not. Like, I mean, we've seen it like Hashirama and Tobirama are like super like the top tier characters in the anime, but that they're not that good in the video games. So I don't know, like everything started like that. We were just like a bunch of players who got online and played the game online and stuff like that. But then Arashi boards started to take the community to somewhere by hosting tournaments, by hosting actually what to be. I mean, just by being the very first community on Naruto regarding the Naruto Storm games was kind of amazing back in those days because everything was small, everything was simple. I don't know how to describe it. I mean, there weren't such things as as known players. All of us were like new. All of us want to be known, and all of us want to prove that maybe we could be like the very best back in that time. My story or my perspective, I'll tell you everything through my perspective regarding Storm 2. I started, I don't know, as a peasant. I remember that I posted in the forums so proud that, I'm number 400 something in the leaderboards. Like, yo, like, you better be scared of me beating you all, like, I'm like top. I don't know, back in those days, I thought rank means something on how good you were. And these people actually proved me wrong. I remember that my first battle was versus Shadow 97 94. Um, that dude completely outplayed me back in that time. I mean, I didn't know how to perform combos. I didn't know how good air combos were. I didn't know anything about the aerial gaming back in those days. It was like I was like super new in some way. I mean, I knew how was the game mechanic, but I didn't know how I could exploit it. This dude Shadow was like one of the best back in the time. Was like I think the best in Arashi boards. The time that I joined, he totally outplayed me. I honestly was amazed because I was like typical noob, like the typical random piece, and I was pretty arrogant, pretty confident that I could beat or I could defeat everybody. And well, this dude just proved me wrong. And after that, I remember that I got kind of obsessed with the game. I was still back in high school. I still had a lot of free time. I mean, literally lots of free time. So um, I don't know. I start to feel like I want to get better at this game. Like I honestly I love it. Like I played. It's my very first online game, and I remember that every single little progress that I had through, like learning how to combo, learning how to pull some like loops and stuff like that. Man, I felt so proud of myself. After this, I met probably the most underrated Naruto player, what I consider or I call the king of Storm, Bobraham. Bobraham was that kind of dude. What every single tournament that he joined, he will win. Definitely, his Sasori, he was like way too advanced for hit. Like by the time he knew about the Sasori Tilt Club, he knew about the Sasori advanced tactics. He knew that Sasori could air dash in that game because back in that day, the air chakra dash didn't exist. It was just like the regular dash, but Barberhand discovered that Sasori could actually jump and pull the dash and go through all the obstacles that you will actually put in the story. And that's what actually made Sasori like so good and so solid character. I remember that the first time that I played him because I joined something called Tournament Kings, which were like probably the best Naruto tournaments that I ever seen. Um, I remember probably that was like my biggest motivation or my biggest inspiration. Like I want to be in a final versus Barberham, and I remember that the community was so small. I remember that that tournament just had place for like 16 players, and most of them were from Arashi boards and some random people who just knew the website like Tournament Kings. Back in those days, there were like five people who were considered at the top. And the top of them was like Boberham on PS3. Then we can tell that it was like, um, I think it was Teddy the Kazekage, Mike Fur, Shadow, and I think probably many people won't agree with me, but I still think that this dude, Naruto for Life, probably was like in that time one of the most dominating players. But Boberham was like in a total and a whole different level. I remember that I don't know why they did decide, to play me, to constantly show me some tricks and stuff like that. I honestly don't know why Boberham was acting so nice with me. From one day to another, I just passed to be like someone who didn't know how the game worked and someone who actually knew how to exploit the game. I remember that I started to rematch everybody. It was like it was kind of funny because no one really wanted to play me because I kind of sucked. I remember that I was like trash talking so hard so they could like play me again. And the first one was Shadow. Man, Shadow. Honestly, I remember that the first time he toy played me, he beat me like 7-0 or something like that. And in this time that I got my rematch, I beat him like 10-0. I mean, it was like I know the dude was like totally amazed. He was like, "Okay, what the hell just happened? Like, how do you get this good?" And then the other one was like Naruto for Life, Domination L, all these cool players that actually were really good. I know, like I started to beat them like with no problem. And honestly, after playing Bobraham, only Bobraham for like 1 week or 2 weeks, um, no one seemed like to be so much of a big deal. Um, After this, the Naruto community kind of started to grow. Um, I remember that there was something that I started to hear about clans, and I really didn't know how the concept worked, but me and Kenneth they decide to do to make a clan. Our clan was called GFGTG. It was like something really stupid. I honestly don't remember what the initials stood for. And and my first recruit was this Portuguese dude, what actually I respect a lot as a person and as a player. Dark Spirit 17. Dark Spirit 17. Eventually, I was actually a friend of Spiral. Eventually, Spiral came to Arashi board, and he was probably the first person that gave me trouble. I remember that he randomly came showing his YouTube channel. What back in the time it just had like 80 subscribers. I mean, yeah, 80 subscribers, something like that. And it had like a shitty, like a total shitty, super stupid background about Gary. Like Gary of Pokemon. It was like back in those days, you do have this strange system to make backgrounds that you could like repeat the same picture image. On your background and stuff. And Spiral channel just had like that Gary dude, and the colors were like purple and red. And oh my god, it kind of looks so bad. Like I remember that when he showed it to us, I was like, oh well, at least he had like like high quality. And back in those days, it was like super strange that someone could record Naruto in high quality. Um, and then I remember that I challenged Spiral, and he totally beat me. He beat me like 10-2 or something like that. I was totally amazed. It was like the very first time I saw someone use Suigetsu the way he did. I honestly couldn't believe it because he was so good at subbing. Back in those days, there weren't any restrictions about subbing. Like yeah, your substitution depend on your chakra. So every time that you had like a good chakra control, you could sub everything. And Spiral just had everything. He was so balanced. He played the game so perfect, and always made like the right pick the right choice. It was hard for me because I'm a hot-blooded player. I don't care. I just rush. Like I played to kill you, and Spiral was like more pace. Um, Actually, I was playing his game. Like at the moment I was like so aggressive, and Spiral was just like waiting for me, not like camping all the time, but he was waiting for me. He wait me to do the first move so I could commit a mistake, and then he will punish me. And even I knew it was happening. Like even I knew like what was his strategy is something totally different to tell you know like from what you see and to tell your fingers to not do it. So Spiral, I never thought that he will be later one of the greatest Naruto players that the community ever had. And then after this, the community started to grow up a lot. Arashi boards started to like get bigger and bigger, but then something happened. Um, Cynic and Harm, who were like two pretty awesome dudes, and actually Cynic was like in his time the best Xbox player, like best disaster spammer the Xbox community had, and that actually dude what actually was kind of passionate on art back in the day. He decided to make his own website called Valor Gaming, and I remember that it looked so freaking cool, and it had a lot of new players and stuff, a lot of Xbox players, and the community started to get like bigger and bigger and bigger. Uh, I really started to enjoy it because we started to get more challenges, and I started to get like more and more fun in the game. Then this clan thing came out, and I just decided to quit GFGTG or something like that, and then I decided to join Reborn Emperor, which was like a dude who was like having a clan for the Xbox. I remember that I also got the game for Xbox and actually bought an Xbox when the PSN went down. Oh my god, I was like so obsessed with. Just to give you an idea how obsessed I was with the game. Like PlayStation Network is down. It doesn't seem to like be getting back soon, so I will just get the game for Xbox. And I remember that the first time that I played Xbox players, it was like a total different style from the PlayStation 3 ones. PlayStation 3 ones played a lot with rules and stuff like that. I mean, we made rules like you know if you're performing combos and you're gonna substitute, you are not able to punish with a jutsu or ultimate jutsu. I mean, you had to use either your tilt or other combos or at least I know a grab, but not you should not like jutsu behind an opponent after subbing a combo. And these Xbox people actually didn't care. They dash ultimate jutsu. They made a lot of cheap things, but at the same time it was kind of interesting. It was like a kind of a raw, fresh style that the Xbox players were offering. I remember that this dude Californication was in his time like the best, without question. Californication was really good with Neji. I remember that he was able to take even Sasori players with Neji, which was like nuts. Um, I don't know how to describe it. It was just beautiful, man. Like I remember that Neji being so freaking fast on Miss Sasori. I couldn't even do a thing, and slowly I started to get more interest on the Xbox community instead of the PS3 one. Once that the PlayStation the network came back, unfortunately I decided just to go back and PS3 to keep playing with those people. Actually, it was like the community where actually I belong. Like it was like the first one, and the one that I started to get know. I think that I started to get more known after Spin videos. Spin made a popular road to max battle points, and I remember that when people saw me playing versus him, they were asking who was Andrika, and that I was good and all this stuff. Something that I remember with a lot of nostalgia because back in those days, how do I put this? There weren't, I know, the trash talking wasn't really that hard like today. People weren't really like jealous or anything like that, or they didn't like just to be noticed at any cost. I know like it was like a super cool community back in then. I remember that after that I decided to record and make my own channel with my super high quality potato. I know. Uh, it was just nuts, man. Like it was just crazy nuts that every time that you get to plot something, people will start to like to watch your videos and to comment and to show some interest about your gameplay and all that stuff. And I think that after that, tournament after tournament, the best. I already told you who were like the best players, but then Abraham for some reason decided to stop playing. Couldn't find the game interesting anymore, and I took his place. Now, later on, me, Spiral, Crazy J, and maybe I know maybe Dark Spirit become like the top players the PlayStation 3 had to offer. After that, I remember that I decided to quit Reborn Clan. I joined this strange dude called Joverna. Joverna 90 to his super weird ass name clan called XXX Akatsuki. It was the clan Bob uh, was wasn't, and there was like a bunch of unknown but super good players. Cipriano was one of them. I remember that he was so obsessed with stupid cancel substitution ultimate jutsu cancel. Man, Cipriano was like just crazy. Juvernal was crazy too. I mean, they both play a really good game. I know how to describe them, but they were like not. I have this kind of discipline style that of me, like very stereotypical, very paced, very controlled. You could see if you saw my like past videos, you could see that I kind of had the total control of the character. That I actually moved with some sense, but these people didn't make any sense at all. Like they were just running and then dashing out of nowhere, like out of the blue, and doing jutsus out of the blue. It was just so strange that it was hard for me to predict. It was hard for me to read, and it was like a totally I know how to put this, but it was like a totally new experience for me to play people like that. After this, we start to get more, like hype when we saw all this like generation trailer. So Juvernal, Spiral, and Spin decided to make a new clan called the Six Paths of Pro or something like that, and they invite me and I accept it. But then later on, I decided to make my own clan for some reason. I don't really remember the reason, but I just decided to make a lead. I remember that I recruit the 8 hardest people that I met so far. And I remember that the first one that I got was Conan 000. She was just nuts. Her style kind of reminded me a lot of the Xbox players. She had this kind of very raw style that she actually didn't care. She just rushed on you and actually played to kill you without any thinking or anything like that. I also recruited Dark Crush with back in the time. Wasn't really one of the best, but I saw a huge potential in him. I saw like maybe if I get to play him often, he'll be as good as me. Like how Abraham was, and actually eventually Dark Crush started to become one of the best players the world had to offer regarding the Naruto Storm games. Senkar, which was like a super fast combo performer. Initially, Tien, who are like the total opposite of me, like super smart, super paced, a very disciplined style. Not really like not really with a lot of sense or very careful in his moves, but he had that something special on his way to play. I also recruit Updog, who was like a promise back in the time. Um, Kennethy, I also recruit her, and we kind of anti Flow, who was like the best Sasori I ever played in my life. So yeah, like after that, we start to clan battle other people. I know, man. Like telling all this, it was kind of nuts. I really enjoyed it. It was super cool. It was like so freaking cool. But well, yeah, that's it. you can tell that that's the part one. After that, we got so hype about Generations. Generations seems to be offering like a new way to play the game, a more a fast-paced style. We're hype. We're hype, and actually, we didn't know what was about to come, because if I have to tell something, Generations was probably the most hardcore Naruto game, and probably the one who took, in my eyes, the one who took the most skill of all the franchise. Honestly, Generations took it to the next level. Everything, the combos, the spam, everything, and actually, it had this kind of weird pacing that made you able to beat top spam characters with low tier characters. Well, this is basically it. This is basically how the Storm 2 community was back in then. I wish I could tell more, but it probably endure like 2 hours of me speaking about it. So yeah, this is basically it, guys. I really hope that you guys enjoy. And I'm pretty disappointed that only like Sick Roy and other two people add me on the Wii U. I hope that you guys actually get the copy and like let's play some Smash, because I am honestly enjoying this thing. I get to play either like in the morning or way too late at night, but yeah, we can make some matches, and actually I can record for us and pause the sweet ass gameplay and actually can have some fun, dudes. Well, this is everything for now, and I will see you next time, guys. See ya.